We're going to try this a second time here. I had a little bit of a connection issue. Apparently Facebook doesn't like my Verizon connection, so hopefully this will look a lot better than it did just a minute ago. I had one viewer said that it was very blurry, and then it just disrupted and ended. So Rob, hopefully you are available right now. Let me see if I can tag you, and I will do that just so that you can be a part of this, because I don't want you to miss out. There we go. So just tagged you, Rob. Let's see if that will work. Okay, let's jump out of that, and that should work. All right, good. Thanks, Rob. I appreciate you being on. Looks like we're gathering an audience now. I have to talk about this, and I wanted to go outside and do it because I don't rant as bad outside as I do inside, and I have a slight rant to make today. So let me share with you just a little bit about this. This is my experience with the hemp industry. Okay, I'm gonna give you the entire history of my experience with the hemp industry. My interest in hemp began when I was asked to judge a college debate tournament in 1995. In 1995, the debate topic on the college platform was on the topic of pollution. So I decided that what I would do is I'd pay very careful attention, take notes, and I would try to validate everything that was being said by this student who was very, very adamant that part of the solution to the pollution problem in our country was to enhance the agricultural industry. And one of the things that we had neglected for almost 70 years was the growing of industrial hemp. So thank you so much for joining me today. I know this is a really odd and strange time for me to be live. I don't normally do this at noon, but I wanted to do this at a different time so that I could make a point. So I got a great deal of information that day, and I began to do very, very careful research on the topic of industrial hemp. And I realized that what had happened was misinformation, lies, and completely inappropriate stuff had happened that had caused us to lose access to a vitally important crop in America. And that thus began my attempt to become an advocate for the hemp industry. I have a file full of, and I didn't bring it over here, I have a file full of letters that I have written to senators and to congressmen and to people to be a lobbyist, instead of the paper lobbyist, to be a lobbyist for hemp as much as I possibly could from the platform that I had. I've had multiple rejection letters that say the stupidest things I've ever heard. Like, it's impossible for law enforcement to tell the difference between hemp and marijuana. And my response has always been back. One very simple thing. If you can tell the difference between a bush and a tree, you should be able to tell the difference between hemp and marijuana. One grows like a bush, the other one grows like a tree. Not too difficult to figure that out. And yes, I understand, Todd, that's exactly what happened, was that they intended to put out a campaign of misinformation. And the misinformation led to all kinds of crazy stuff like the movie Reefer Madness and all the things that went associated with that, so that the paper industry could continue to hang on to using trees rather than hemp as a solution for the paper issue. So we've had a history of misinformation about this product and about this potential product, agricultural product in the world today. And so I spent the last 20 years. That was 1995, though. I spent more than the last 20 years doing nothing except for trying to be an advocate for this. It's not what I do for a living, but it has been a passion of mine since the day I sat in that classroom and I listened to maybe the best, clearest, most articulate position I've ever heard somebody present on the value of industrial hemp. And so as a former farm kid, I thought this is an agricultural solution that we need to pay careful attention to. Okay? And so we started to make progress. Took 20 years to start to make progress. And along about about 2014 was when there began to be approval of hemp fields in America. So now I want to say some things that this is where the rant comes from. 1997, there was a discovery that we have an endocannabinoid system inside of our body, and sometimes that endocannabinoid system is broken down from neurological conditions, and it leads to all kinds of other problems. I happen to be somebody who suffers badly from some neurological conditions that are a part of that. And so a little over 2 years ago, I started to take CBD oil. It has been a savior for me. It has done for me exactly what I needed to have done. I can now walk when I was just about completely disabled, completely unable to walk. And now I can walk around. Now I can do now I'm able to do the things that I wanted to be able to do because I take CBD oil. But something happened that caused me to lose it. All right, and I have to explain to you what that is, and this is my rant. Last week was a nightmare for me. I never heard so much misinformation being shared as I heard last week. Let me make this clear. I'm not just an advocate. Not only am I a user, but I'm not a distributor. I'm not in the retail business to sell CBD oil or hemp products, although that might happen somewhere down the road, but not now. Because I wanted to be able to stand apart from that. I wanted to be able to be an advocate without having deep pockets, okay? I wanted to be able to advocate for something that I didn't get paid for because I thought there was value to that. Almost every day, and it's gone on for over a year now, almost every day, I will spend somewhere between an hour and 3 hours informing people about the use of CBD oil or the use of industrial hemp. An hour to 3 hours. Every single day. I've met with chemists who are wanting to do studies. I have met with the leaders in the CBD oil industry. I've interviewed them. I've been interviewed by, of all things, a medical anthropologist in Canada who wanted to know how does a Baptist preacher reconcile using something like hemp, okay? Something like CBD oil. Isn't that like marijuana? And he had 10,000 downloads of that podcast for 3 weeks running. I was just amazed. Listen, what happened that bothered me? And I don't care. Listen, people are using my videos, and they're using my interviews, and they're using the stuff that I've provided for them, and that's okay. And it's not going to change. But when I start seeing misinformation, it really bothers me because the reason why we lost this product to begin with was because of misinformation. Does that make sense? That makes this old teacher's hair catch on fire. So this is my point. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. We have MLM people got into this business, and that's what bothered me. I'm not opposed to MLMs. I actually try to shop there first. I try to be supportive of people in the MLM business. They're trying to make a way to make things happen for them. But if they're going to lie, I will call it out. If they're not going to tell the truth, I'm going to call it out. Dave, can you listen? Right here, I have a dozen videos on this topic, all right? And I'm just getting started. Dave asked the question, where's the best trustable, quick, down, dirty info video on this? That's what I do, all right? But here's my passion. Tell the truth. Don't say that you have the only CBD oil that THC won't show up in. That's a lie. It's a lie. Don't tell people to take the oil and put it in a glass of water and drink it if it bothers them putting it under their tongue, because it won't work. Don't be telling something that's not true so you can make a $20 commission off of a product. That infuriates me. I don't want misinformation about something that is this important to me. All right? Companies that I've worked with have athletes in the NFL. Let me ask you this. If an athlete in the NFL is taking it, is a THC test going to pop up positive? Absolutely not. I have a dozen people who are veterans who are taking it every day. And if it was going to pop up positive for THC because somehow some product was inferior, if that were going to happen, they lose their veterans benefits. Too much on the line, folks. And I think you're right, Dave. I think you're right. I don't think some people know any better. And so I'm here to help, all right? I'm here to help. My good friend Barry says it works to control pain. Yep, I know that. Thank you, Barry. I appreciate that little testimony about that. Many of you have joined on here because you're interested in the product. But listen, don't share incorrect information in any way, in any shape, or any form, because it can be taken the wrong way. You make it very difficult for people like me who try to keep people informed properly. I hear people make the wrong. I heard somebody said the other day that the difference between hemp and marijuana is one's a mature plant and the other one's an immature plant. That's not true. The USDA has certified certain fields in America to be certified fields for the use of hemp. Make sure you're sourcing this from a good place. Make sure that your source, I don't care where you get it from, but make sure that your source comes from something that you know you can verify the purity of it from seed to shelf. Okay? Let's just do this right, folks. Let's just do it right. Don't say something in order that you might win a sale when somebody else doesn't, in an attempt to make money off of something. Then you become as guilty as the paper companies, the oil companies, the people who crushed this industry to begin with. And that's what I don't want to have happen. That's my rant for the day. I don't know, this ranting is not normal for me. It's not something that I like to do. It's not something I'm comfortable doing. Sometimes it's something that we have to do. Now, I'll be glad I've given you, well, I tried to, and then it went away. So in the comments, I'm going to post to you, I'm running a contest, right? I'm going to give somebody a bottle of CBD oil. I'm going to give it away so that somebody can have it and get a chance to test it. I want people to test this. I want them to find out for themselves. But I can promise you this, you're not going to test positive for a drug test. I can promise you that. Okay? I wouldn't work with people who flunking a drug test could cost them all of their lifetime benefits or cost them millions of dollars. Not going to happen. All right? But I want people to test this. So I'm going to give you the link. I apologize. I thought I had it up here, but because of the disruption with the going live, wasn't able to post the link. I'll post the link in just a minute. Okay? I want people to try it. I want people to do what Dave said here. I want people to try it. I want them to get an opportunity. Rob has entered the contest, but I want you to do that because I want you to get a chance to see that. Okay? Thank you, Rachel. I didn't start this yesterday. All right? I've been doing this for a long time. And my whole point is to put people's mind at ease. I want them to understand. Don't be afraid of something. Knowledge gives you power, all right? And if you don't have the knowledge and you act fearful, you'll do something or say something stupid, all right? So I will put a link here. I'll share with you the contest. Make sure that you jump in. Stick around for just a second, because as soon as I get off, I'm going to drop the, let's see if I can do this, because I had it right here. Let's see if I can do this. Yes, I can. So I just posted the link. There's the link. When you go there, that actually goes to my site, and there's 3 places on the site that will tell you how to get entered into the contest. Okay, so jump in the contest. Make sure that you get in on the contest and do that. Then the second thing is, people have asked me where to purchase this at. I will post a second. I will post a second link when I get off air. Thank you, Barry. I appreciate that. But I'll post a second link in just a little bit, and that second link will tell you the best place that I know of where you can be confident in your purchase and not worry about any of the things that we talked about, okay? All right, with that, I feel better. I've been able to rant for a moment. This is what I saw coming, and it just drove me crazy. We lost access to a product because there was a misinformation smear campaign that took place. I don't want to have it happen again. We're starting to make ground. And listen, hasn't been fun. It hasn't been easy. But I am so glad to see light at the end of the tunnel, that I don't want a handful of people in an MLM industry to crash this. All right? Don't let that happen. And I'll continue to share videos. I'll continue to share the movie Bring It Home. I'll continue to do the things that I do to help people to have a better understanding of a product that comes from a plant that's totally harmless, that can bring more benefit to you health-wise than anything you could ever have. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate the good audience, and I will share that link with you just as soon as I get off, okay? Thank you, thank you, thank you.